Hello and welcome back to the Learn English Fluently channel. Today you will learn English through a realistic story called My First Day in London. Relax, listen carefully and enjoy. Let's begin.
My name is Sophia. Yesterday, I left my home country for the first time in my life. I was excited, but also very nervous. After a 7-hour flight, the airplane finally landed at Heathrow Airport in London. When the plane touched the ground, everyone started clapping softly. I looked out of the window and saw grey clouds, wet roads, and hundreds of airplanes. "Welcome to London Heathrow," the pilot said. My heart started beating fast. This was real. I was finally in England. The airport was huge. There were people everywhere, tourists, business workers, families, students. Some people walked quickly. Others looked confused, just like me. I followed the signs for arrivals and passport control. I held my passport tightly in my hand because I was afraid of losing it. After 20 minutes, it was finally my turn to speak to the immigration officer. He looked serious.
Good morning. What is the purpose of your visit?
I took a deep breath. "I am here to study English," I said.
How long will you be staying in the UK?
"I will be staying in the UK for 6 months," I replied. The officer typed something into his computer. Then he looked at me again.
Where will you be staying, and what is the address?
"I will be staying at a student accommodation in central London. The address is 14 Rose House. The postcode is S12YOR. He nodded, satisfied.
Okay, great. Welcome to the United Kingdom. Please enjoy your stay.
I smiled immediately. "Thank you," I said. I felt so relieved. Vocabulary break. 1. Purpose of your visit. This means, why are you coming to the country? Example. The purpose of my visit is tourism. The purpose of my visit is to study. Accommodation. Accommodation means a place to live or stay. Examples. Hotel, apartment, student accommodation. Accommodation. Relieved. Relieved means you feel relaxed after stress or worry. Example. I felt relieved after the interview. Next, I went to collect my luggage. I waited near the baggage carousel with many other passengers. Suitcases moved around slowly on the conveyor belt. Black suitcase, blue suitcase, red suitcase, but not mine. 10 minutes passed, then 15 minutes. I started panicking. "Oh no," I whispered. "Please don't tell me they lost my bag." Finally, I saw it. A large grey suitcase with a yellow ribbon tied to the handle. I laughed quietly. Thank goodness. I grabbed my suitcase and walked toward the exit. Suddenly, cold air hit my face. Outside the airport, London looked completely different from my country. The weather was cold. The sky was dark. People wore long coats and scarves. And something surprised me immediately. Nobody was talking loudly. Everything felt calm and quiet, but busy. I needed to go to my accommodation near King's Cross Station. But first, I had to find transportation. I walked to a taxi driver standing outside. "Excuse me," I said nervously. "How much is a taxi to King's Cross?" The driver smiled.
That will cost around £70.
My eyes opened wide. £70? That was too expensive. So instead, I decided to take the Underground. The London Underground is also called the Tube. I followed the signs carefully. At the station, I looked completely lost. A woman noticed me struggling with the ticket machine.
Hello, do you need any help?
She asked me kindly. Yes, please, I replied. She showed me how to buy an Oyster card.
You can use this for trains and buses.
She explained. Thank you so much, I said gratefully.
That's no problem at all.
She smiled. At that moment, I felt something important. Maybe London was not as scary as I thought. Vocabulary break 1. Underground. The Underground is London's subway system. British people also say the tube. 2. Struggling. Struggling means having difficulty doing something. Example: I was struggling to understand the accent. 3. Kindly. Kindly means in a nice and caring way. Example: she spoke kindly to me. The train was crowded. People sat quietly looking at their phones. Nobody made eye contact. I sat near the window and listened carefully to the station announcements. Next station, Green Park. The British accent sounded different from the English I learned at school. Sometimes I understood everything. Sometimes I understood nothing. But strangely, I loved it. For the first time in my life, I felt independent. I felt brave. And even though I was tired, cold, and nervous, I knew this was the beginning of a completely new life. After 1 hour, I finally arrived at my accommodation. I opened the door to my small room, placed my suitcase on the floor, and sat on the bed silently. Outside the window, I could hear London traffic and distant sirens. I looked round the room and smiled. I'm really here, I whispered. And that was my first day in London.